Great.
Thank you. This year we are honored to have our Grand Marshal, local World War II veteran, Private First Class Leo Rosenzweig, as our honoree. Now, Leo, thank you. I'm going to read the proclamation first so everybody can hear what you accomplished and then ask you to come up. So you could sit for at least 2 more minutes. Whereas Leo Rosenzweig was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1928, lived most of his life in New York, moved to New Jersey in 2014, has been a certified nitric scuba diver, diving many wrecks of military ships around the world, and now enjoys living near his son, daughter, and their spouses, and his 4 grandchildren. And whereas Leo Rosenzweig enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1946, completed his training at Parris Island, South Carolina, and transferred to Cherry Point, North Carolina. And whereas upon reduction of the armed forces due to the end of the Second World War, PFC Rosenzweig was transferred from the amphibious school in Quantico, Virginia, to the Naval Shipyard in Brooklyn, New York. And whereas after being honorably discharged in 1947, he has since been very involved with veterans organizations and projects, joining the Jewish War Veterans Post number 536 at Covered Bridge, Manalapan, and elected post commander. And whereas PFC Rosenzweig is co-chair of the Manalapan Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee, was instrumental in creating the Walk of Honor at Manalapan Town Hall, and has worked to form the Center for Veterans at Manalapan. And whereas PFC Rosenzweig is an associate member of Vietnam Veterans of America and has worked tirelessly with the Covered Bridge Woodworking Shop to create burial urns for veterans whose cremated remains have been abandoned at funeral homes, partnering with Home Depot, who provided funding for ongoing efforts to honor those with full military honors, and further replace a fallen flagpole at the Jewish War Veterans section of Mount Lebanon Cemetery in Island, New Jersey. And through all his efforts in all these veterans organizations, PFC Leo Rosenzweig has tirelessly dedicated himself to honoring and serving all veterans. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jonathan L. Hornick, Mayor of the Township of Marlborough, on behalf of the Town Council, the Veterans Volunteer Committee, and our residents, do hereby proclaim that we shall always remember those who have given their lives for our freedom. And be it further resolved that the Mayor and members of Council, on behalf of the Marlborough Township Veterans and Volunteers Committee and the residents of the Township of Marlborough, offer our sincere gratitude to Private First Class Leo Rosenzweig for his service to our country.
Thank you, everyone. I want to express my thanks to the Marlborough Township Mayor Jonathan Hornick, Jack Small, Commander Lieutenant Seth Devoren, Jewish War Veterans, Post 972, for offering me this privilege of being Grand Marshal today. I would also like to acknowledge Colonel Jeff Cantor, Bernard Rothenberg, and my friend Alan Solzhenitsyn, my #1 son. It's a day in which those who died in active military service are remembered. My name is Leo Rosenzweig, and I want to say a little about Memorial Day. This special day we celebrate every year. Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer in the United States. It's a weekend of family events and often associated with hot dogs, picnics, and openings of pools. And of course, you go to Pine Belt, you'll get some discounts on your cars. Here are some facts you may not know about Memorial Day. Traditionally, Memorial Day was observed on May 30th, but now it's officially observed on the last day of May. Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. In 1868, James Garfield gave the first Memorial Day speech. The Ohio congressman and future president spoke at Arlington National Cemetery. Americans will eat 818 hot dogs per second on Memorial Day, for a total of 71 million during the one day. But many may forget the real reason for this holiday as we enjoy the long weekend. It's the day we honor those who gave their lives for our freedom. As I remember the day of infamy, Sunday, December 7th, 1941, I was 13 years old and just exited the Walker Movie Theater on 18th Avenue between 65th and 64th Street in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, New York. That's when I first heard the news that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor and that President Franklin Roosevelt was addressing Congress about the attack. On December 8th, 1941, President Franklin Roosevelt declared war on Japan. At the time, I had friends whose older brothers had enlisted in various armed forces. Only 3 years later, I learned that 3 of those young men had perished in the conflict, and there are now 3 more Gold Star families. Only then did I come to understand the true meaning of Memorial Day. I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps February 23, 1946. Completed training at Parris Island, South Carolina. Was transferred to Cherry Point, North Carolina, and then on to Quantico, Virginia, Marine Barracks Amphibious Warfare School. When President Harry Truman ordered a reduction of the armed forces, I was transferred to the Marine Barracks, New York Naval Shipyard, Brooklyn, New York, and discharged on November 10th, 1947. That's the Marine Corps birthday, November 10th, remember that. I was married to my wife, Lillian, for 25 years before she passed away from cancer. I later had another wonderful woman, Ruth, in my life for 30 years, who also passed. Eventually, I moved from Floral Park, New York, to Covered Bridge in Manalapan to be near my children. My son and his family live here in Manalapan. My daughter and her husband live in Harlem, New Jersey. I also have 4 grown grandchildren. Some of the things I'm most proud of are the work I've been able to do to honor and serve other veterans. I joined the Jewish War Veterans of USA Post 536 Covered Bridge in New Jersey. 2 years ago, I was elected commander of the post. I've been involved with the Manalapan Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee for the last 5 years and was elected to the position of co-chair. The committee, with the support of many local businesses, created the Walk of Honor Memorial in front of Manalapan Municipal Building. The Veterans Committee also established the Center for Veterans at Manalapan. It's the newest extension of Lakewood Vet Center and provides readjustment counseling and support for combat veterans at Manalapan's Community Center, Little Drive. Is anyone aware that many veterans' cremated remains left behind unburied in funeral homes around the country? Chapter 12 of the Vietnam Veterans of America. I'm a little out of. Yeah. At Doyle Cemetery, as an associate member of Chapter 12, I enlisted the help of the woodworking shop at Covered Bridge in making the wooden funeral urns for those forgotten veterans. Home Depot of Manalapan has been a generous partner with this project, with their grant to pay for wood supplies. VVA Chapter 12 is actively involved in helping veterans in many ways, and I'm proud to be part of these efforts. So as we eat our hot dogs with our families and friends today, enjoying our long weekend, let's not forget the real reason for the holidays, that we remember and honor those who gave their lives in freedom. The National Museum of Jewish Military History currently lists 58 identified servicemen and women who gave their lives in defense of our country in Iraq and Afghanistan. Current as of May 2018. Sergeant Howard P. Allen, Arizona National Guard, age 31, Mesa, Arizona. First Lieutenant David Bernstein, U.S. Army, age 24, Phoenixville, PA. Sergeant Aaron C. Blum, U.S. Marine Corps, age 27, Tucson, Arizona. And last but not least, Second Lieutenant Seth Devoren, U.S. Army, age 24, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Thank you.